don't think delusion. I don't. I wouldn't call it delusion. I would call it entitlement. Um, I think for I'm talking on in terms of women right now, but for women to say that they won't settle for less, it indicates that they believe that there's something that they deserve or something they're entitled to. And a lot of women say that they're looking for a good man, God-fearing man, that's going to treat them right, provide stuff like that. But the evaluation criteria they use to find them is based off of money, power, and respect. Some of the most superficial things that we can use to identify inside of another person. So if they're using how much money a person makes to indicate a guy's character, or they're using what they see, they're saying is respect, which is really like how tough do you look or how tough you act. Like their evaluation methods for finding the guys that they are looking for, I think, is inherently off. And I think it's the same thing on men's side too. Is we want the good girl, the modest girl, the one that we can build with, but we fall into the trap of looking at you know how they look, where what their body size, body shape is like. Not that that's not important, because it is important, but we skip over the actual characteristics that we should be looking for, because those other things are prevalent. Like, women should be looking for character, integrity, loyalty, humility, like those types of things that you got to really talk to a person, and you got to really get to know them to see where they fall inside of that, instead of looking at making 300K, and dresses better than everybody else, things like that. So I think it is kind of it's delusional to say that you won't settle for less, because you don't even know how to look for the right thing, look for what you actually want.
Okay. Well, Mr. Shannon Ross.
I don't really have much more to add than the brothers have already added. I do want to reiterate that I've reiterated maybe a month or two ago in one of our shows that there's no such thing as settling. People, settle. I won't settle for less. There's no such thing as settling. You get what you negotiate. You get what you qualify for. It's just that simple. That's it.
All right. Go ahead, Marcus.
I 100% believe it's a such thing as settling. Me and Shan constantly be going back about this one, respectfully. So the reason I think people settle is because, again, using that example, it would be fair to say if Beyonce and Jay-Z would have stayed together and he never made the money and didn't become as famous, that she would have been settling. That if a woman wants a man, yeah, if a woman wants a man who makes 300K, and rightfully all she dated was men that made 300K, and she falls in love with a man who only makes 40K, she actually settled. I think it becomes delusion when you do not get consistently the results that you want, yet you feel that you're entitled to them, have not gotten them, don't have prospects of getting them, and then whatever you get, which may be on par with what you normally get, and you say you're settling, that's when it hits delusion. That's when it hits delusion. What you say, Shan? I see the face. Let's engage. I see the face. Let me hear what you got. You muted.
You got it.
Oh, man. I specifically wanted to hear what you wanted to say. God damn.
Why is it not settling? Okay, switch shoes.
Mhm.
Men date down since the beginning of history.
Mhm.
Woman makes more, man makes less.
Mhm.
We're getting we're getting too far away from you still not being able to run your household because your woman make more than you. Is that a mentality?
You saying if a woman makes more and a man makes less, and yeah, that if you allow that, if she okay, so what Nelson was talking about earlier with the power dynamic, I think that has more to do with than the actual finance. So if she's a domineering, mothering type, and you got in that relationship under that guys, then she probably would control the household.
You threw in another caveat. Men have been dating down. Listen, since the beginning of time. We're no longer traditional. We got to come to grasp with that. Most relationships aren't traditional due to the economic landscape. Your woman now makes more than you. She's a doctor. You are a sanitation man. Where's the mentality where you feel she's not going to respect you anymore? And that's the common narrative that comes across these panels nowadays. Why is that? Why is that the ideal that you believe is going to happen within the household?
I think you assigning the wrong person that idea, because I don't believe that. That's not what I believe. However,
it was a question. I didn't hold you to it.
Yeah. No, I'm saying. However, most people do believe that, and I think it goes back to this: finances equate to a different category of person that you worth. Like that was what my initial question was. Was it how far away from the person that you are can you date? Because settling has to exist if they're different tiers of people. If we're not all equal, somebody is taking a better deal and somebody's taking a worse deal.
But you got to run your race. What's for you is for you. Stop looking outside the window when you drive and you might crash.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. The issue we run into is when people, in my personal opinion, this is all personal opinion, are in relationships with people who are outside of their normal wheelhouse due to some extreme or extraordinary situation, and then that relationship breaks up because that person did not truly or genuinely want to be with you. It was a situation where they were using you until they no longer had use, or they found somebody that they could use to a higher extent, which is where monkey branching it comes in.
So KP, well, now you see how you said it would be jacked up for somebody to appreciate you less because you a sanitation worker and she's a doctor. That's trash. But that's why I was saying the dude who makes $300,000 a year is not necessarily qualified for this type of woman because it goes way beyond the money. That's the same point. You know what I'm saying? They're all fall in the same line. Money can be part of it. There are women who are attracted to money, but that's not going to dictate how it is that your household is ran. If you think that that's it, then you're going to run into some issues. You will find yourself divorced. You will find yourself cheated on. You will find yourself in a lot of problems. It's going to take a lot more than that. She has to respect you as a man, your character, how you move. That's what she's supposed to respect. And if you exhibit that type of behavior where you show that you are a good leader, then you'll have way less of an issue, right? If she decides that she's going to submit to you, it's very different. You can't have a woman try to submit to your bread. That's never going to cut it.